So, and I don't think it's on BT. So if anyone's got a stream, help me out or I'll find one because I want to watch that. That's the next game Saliba will be playing in. But he said the coach immediately told me that I was not ready. I would have at least liked to have had a chance to rediscover my rhythm. So again, he's barely played. He wanted a chance to get into the groove of things, to get match fit, to get back to a standard. And to be fair, this is where I have a problem. If Arteta has told him he's immediately not ready, why didn't we loan him out? Now, again, I know the personal problems and stuff he's allegedly gone through, so I'm not referring to that. Again, I don't really want to speculate on that, but if there's that in mind, I get it. But this is why we needed to be a bit proactive. And this is why, for me, when I'm seeing that the coach is telling you that, when I'm hearing on the last day of the season, you're trying to palm a man off anywhere and can't agree a loan fee, it doesn't sound right to me. It doesn't really sound right. And like he said, my first 6 months was difficult because I was coming from 6 months where I wasn't able to train because I was at home and couldn't train outside and couldn't play. So we all know he lost match rhythm. He wasn't able to build on 28. I know he made his 29th career appearance in the French division a couple of days ago, but prior to that, he couldn't build upon his 28 games because of the COVID lockdown and the season getting ripped and all of these sort of things. So yeah, people. So yeah, I'm not too sure that not you, my guy. Your Gnabry does burn. United fans were very special capping with that. I'm not too sure you're fully right on that, my guy. I don't think that is true in relation to Brewster, but you're allowed to believe that. And then we've got Subi as well talking the realness, so I'm not too sure where you got your info, but fair play. And he also said, I arrived there as they were finishing the league season, so I was training alone. As soon as they came back from holidays, we had quickly the first friendly matches where I lacked rhythm and was a bit insufficient physically. So he was a bit behind. So what have I seen here? He's had to play catch up because we all remember that he was doing his individual training while the boys were gone, designed to help him hit the ground running. But to a degree, he was playing catch up. And maybe there was some, they probably was, but maybe there was something Arsenal could have done in terms of, yes, he's isolated at home, but we went through this with our own players initially during lockdown. Maybe there was something we could have done better there, but I can't imagine they weren't doing that. But in relation to this, people, this is his Get French Football. They've kind of summarized what's happened at the press conference. Very rarely do you see a player match and then have a press conference. So at least he's got that first game under his belt. But on Nice, he said, and a bit of it is going to be PR. He said Nice was certainly my top choice because it's a good club that I've liked for a long time. It's a club that fights at the top of the table, that fights to be in a European competition. It is a club with ambition that has a good style of play, style of possession. As for St. Etienne, that is my home and my comfort zone. I wanted to leave my comfort zone to come to Nice, a club I've never played for, and I'm sure it's the best choice. So I learned a lot of people were saying with the personal problems Saliba was going with and things like that, it made sense to go back to St. Etienne. But this tells you someone that wants to be out of their comfort zone, and he is, To us in England, it's a bit bewildering. We don't understand what's really going on with Saliba, but to France or people in France, they judge him a bit different. They think he's kind of level sort of thing. They can't understand it. So there's an element of responsibility. He's gonna like the manager said when he signed, he has to be a leader because he's got that personality. And I don't think it's actually here, but he said, "I'm young, but I've arrived the boss." That's what I want to hear because he's gonna have to be a leader amongst men. They've got a very young squad collectively. They've got Dalberg, Amin Guiri, Jeffrey Adley. What's that guy? Stanley and Soki. They've got another young centre half. They've got Saliba. So there's a lot of young men. There's going to be a lot of lessons that they're going to have to learn. But this is a case for Saliba to thrive, to be a leader amongst young men, to be the experienced one amongst young men. He's got the personality for it. And that's what you want to see it. For me, I think Saliba's going to have a long season purely because I like that these young players are getting chances. I like that he's playing for a manager that's giving young people opportunities. I like the club that he signed for in Nice. But just based on that first game I saw them play, unless there's a massive turnaround, they're going to have some heavy defeats because you can see it, It's a bunch of kids. It's extremely naive, especially for the 2 goals they've just conceded. There's a lot to learn. Now, for me, Saliba, even if he gets game time, he's not going to be the finished article. But we just need him to take them building blocks. For me, he does get caught flat-footed. His positioning can improve. For someone who's 6'4", he can be better in the air. For me, he can be a bit more proactive and he needs to do things a bit quicker. But these are all things you'd expect a 19-year-old who's played 29 times in the top division to have. It's about how we make him that tomorrow. So at Nice, we're hoping he just gets more confidence and is able to come back. You've heard how Arteta speaking about him and said, We need him to get confidence. He's gonna come back for preseason and the rest of it, people. So yeah, man, he said it. Yeah, he wants to be out of his comfort zone. He also said, I arrived on Monday. Things happened quite quickly. I had one training session today. I had one training session, sorry. Today is my second training session. So he had one training session and got to start. Good. Big up Nice for that, people. He spoke of doing his medical and stuff like that. And again, 23's football is a massive step below any top flight men's football, men's professional football, in my opinion, at all. And he also said, and that is for sure, is that the rhythm, and what is for sure is that the rhythm at the professional level and 23's level is not the same. But I wanted to play, and I trained so hard at Arsenal. That's why the coach put me in directly on Wednesday. So again, he wanted to play. I like that. Forget not being fit, forget being this and that. He wanted to play, and you did see a bit of, you would naturally see some elements of ring rust within his game. Naturally, there's no way around that, people. So yeah, it doesn't prepare you, but he showed his mentality, and in theory, it could only get better now. You've thrown yourself in at the deep end. You played with one training session. With your new team off the back of not really being in the best of physical health at Arsenal because you ain't played and all of those sort of things. So it can only get better now, really and truly. It can only get better. Like I said, we've signed this man at 19 years of age for 5 years. So again, we need to take our time. There's no rush. We just need to make sure we take a proactive approach to developing him to be that William Saliba of tomorrow, to be that Arsenal regular, to be that centre-half with Gabriel for a decade, to be that guy who's French international and, all of these sort of things, people. It takes time. Everyone looks at Van Dijk, they forget the education he went through in Holland. He got his grounding at Celtic, he got some experience at Southampton, and now he's a quality player for Liverpool, but there was some building blocks each and every day. He spoke on his experience at Arsenal. He said, my first 6 months were difficult because I was coming from 6 months where I was not able to train because I was at home and couldn't train outside. I arrived there as they were finishing the league season, so I was training alone. As soon as they came back from holidays, we quickly had the first friendly matches where I lacked rhythm and was a bit insufficient physically. The coach immediately told me that I was not ready. I would have at least liked to have had the chance to rediscover my rhythm, but this is football and it's like that. And again, it's true. Maybe the manager said, you know what, I rate you, but I need you to go and get game time. You've missed out on too much football. You're a bit too raw and physically you're behind everyone, despite the fact you've kept training. It's all cool. I get that. I can't disagree with that. But I do agree at the same time as well, he could have been afforded the luxury to at least you could have still sold. You could have still, sorry, not sold, man. You could have still gave man out on loan in January, but I still think he could have got a couple of games in the Europa League and the cup competitions, definitely when it became a case of when we got through in the Europa League. So it is what it is, people. He would have liked the chance again, but it is what it is. He's had to just get on with it. Again, we've spoken about Nice, and if you watched the last game, they're quite error prone, and they're gonna make mistakes. Saliba is gonna make mistakes. They're all gonna make mistakes. I want them to, because you make mistakes at 23's level. I've seen Saliba do it. You can get away with it. You make mistakes at this level, instantly, you effed up, and where you need to improve. It's one of them ones there, people. So yeah, on the error-ridden defense that Nice currently have, he said, I'm a young player, but for me, I bring my young experience. I've played in Liga. Even though I'm young, I'm here to be the boss. I have to come to run the defense, and I intend to give my all, and I hope we will be better defensively in the matches to come. That's what I want to hear. He wants his personality to shine. He wants to be a leader. He wants to be a difference maker. He wants to stand up to be counted. That's one thing you could see with him at St. Etienne. You could see, why do you think he resonated well with the St. Etienne fans? Because he knew the derbies meant something to him. You see him with the microphone. You see all of the, you see everything that he's got in his Arsenal. So yeah. Aaron, sorry, people. I know there's unprofessional people. Aaron, you got to be a bit smarter to catch me there. Whatever you've just said there, I wouldn't mind your mother doing that, my guy. A little cheeky one, but please grow up, please. Because while you're doing this, your sister's probably getting shagged by the neighbor. But moving forward, and apologies for that, keeping up with the Saliba business, people. So what can you say for him, people? What can you say? Dante's probably the one experienced centre-half in that Nice defence, and it's been a turbulent time, on replacing him, he said, I am replacing a big name who is unfortunately injured, but I am not putting extra pressure on myself. On the contrary, it's exciting, and I'm going to give my all to try and replace him. So he's standing up to the challenge. What more can you say? What more can you say? On relationships with fellow defenders within that Nice squad, he said, of course, I've started to talk with them before the game as well as on the day. It's true that after that, we made 2 mistakes, but we hope to correct that tomorrow, which is today against Mets. And again, they did make mistakes, and communication is key. As they play together, as they get to know each other, things will click to a degree. And he said it here. He said, and it is true that we need to communicate more to ensure that we rid these errors, goals conceded, and defeats. We are in a bad run of form. We need to get out of this. Once we do, the confidence will go. Facts. And that's probably something he's indirectly seen, maybe not playing at Arsenal, but just seeing how we've been this season and the last 3 games before he departed on loan. He also said, unmarked, if he would stay more initially. Now, again, this is going to be made more of a meal than it is, people. But he said, I've signed a 6-month contract. After these 6 months, we'll see what happens. But for now, I have signed for 6 months and I'm going to give my all. And, he can't rule it out. Arsenal might say, do you know what? You need to go on another loan spell. So again, he can't rule it out. And if he feels comfortable there, while I want him back for pre-season, which is what Mikel Arteta have said, is what it is. Now, lastly, on Mikel Arteta saying that he loaned out Saliba to protect the player. I think the best way to protect him is actually just playing him football and not playing him in big games, but he does need minutes. He said, no, I haven't seen that. Aside from that, I have no intention of responding to what's been said. I left because I needed to play. And again, yeah, he ain't got no more time. Listen, the man, he's got his, like you saw indirectly before, the manager's got his opinion. The manager's got his opinion. Saliba would have liked to get more stuff, but at the same, more minutes, but at the same time, it is what it is. That's the manager's opinion. I've got mine. Let me go out and play football. So talking about this isn't going to get anybody anywhere. So it needs to, just go out and play football and let the football do the talking. Play to the level where we say, okay, cool. It's so bewildering how Saliba's gone out on loan. Look how he's playing in France, and then look at Arsenal. How were they so stupid to loan him out? What's really happened there? That's what he's got to do. In the same way I said it with Ceballos. When Ceballos came here on loan, he's got to play to the standard where Real Madrid looks stupid for loaning him out. And that's my challenge to Saliba. Can you play to the sake to the way of, it looks silly that we loaned you up. We're saying, boy, with this and that, what's going on, people? So it is what it is. Make of that what you want. I see you lot laughing. Hey, Aaron, I hope you're good, man. But it's bro, come on, bro. Come on, people. Am I wrong? It's 9 minutes past 11, and man are talking about dejecting. I'm not even gonna say it. Like, whoa, if that doesn't scream waste, man, I don't know what does, man. And like I said, his sister's probably watching DG things or getting cheated out in the next room, and he's here giving me verbal. It don't really make sense. Your priorities are in the wrong place, my don. Hope you get the help you need, though. Hope you get the help you need, man. Hope you do, man. Big up yourself, Aaron. Hope you're doing well and safe, you twat. Anyways, people, oh, he can play on, bro. It's only a yellow card. He got off